Rock and Roll Geek Show 1193.
Still rocking after all these years.
This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
This is it, the show that started it all. Often imitated, but never equal. From San Francisco, USA. Online since 2004. It's the one and only Rock and Roll Geek Show. With the original Rock and Roll Geek, Michael Butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name's Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Saturday, February 25th, 2023, and it is 12:24 p.m. when I'm recording this episode, a daytime episode. I'm up here in the mountains, and it's past noon, so technically I can start drinking. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a fine Tecate. I have been up here since let's see, the last episode I did was the Ian Hunter, and I went up probably 2 or 3 days after that. By the way, thank you for all the great comments on the greatness of Ian Hunter episode. Made me feel really good. I really appreciate it, friends. If you haven't heard that one, it's the one. Go to rockandrollgeek.com and you can hear it. It's almost 3 hours of geeking out on Ian Hunter. Today, well, back to where I am. I'm in the mountains. I've been here over a week. I don't remember. I think a little over a week. I've been here by myself. I brought up two of the dogs. I brought up Stella and Cassie, and the puppy and Mila have been back at home in San Francisco with the wife. I had to come up here and look at a paint job, and it started snowing. It's been freezing out here. I mean, bitter balls cold, 25 degrees. I know people up in Canada and whatever saying that's your pussies for saying 25 degrees is bitter cold, but to me, it's bitter cold, and I started pressure washing this house today in 37-degree weather. Don't ask me why. It's going to be snowing and raining and freezing cold. Most of the time I'm here. I'm going back, not this weekend, but next weekend. A week from today, I'm going to probably head back, or Sunday or something like that. And I'm only going to do one wall of this house. It's paint business. You don't want to. I'm doing part of the house. I got the entire job, the entire exterior of the house, but it's too cold to do the whole house and it's too wet. So I'm just going to do one wall because these people have a hot tub going in. There you go. I said it. A little paint talk for you, friends. So I am here. The wife got here yesterday. So now we have a house full of dogs and me and the wife, and we're going to go out to get some food tonight in Weaverville up in Trinity County, where I am in the mountains. And I was going to do a show last night, but I was just too tired. So I figured if I'm going to go out to dinner tonight, I should probably just do a show in the daytime. So that's what I'm doing, friends. I got I'm assuming it's great because it's from Joe Pawlak and Chris Capel, my bodyguard and the Rock and Roll Copywriter. They went to the Anthrax, Black Label Society, and Exodus show. I don't think they went together, but they called in a joint show review. So we're going to play that at some point in the show. And I got some good music. I'm going to start something off with a band called Lucero. I had no idea they had a new album coming out. Well, it just came out yesterday. It is called Should Have Learned By Now. I bought it. I bought it on vinyl, so it will be in San Francisco. I think it's supposed to be there on Monday, but the album was released yesterday, so I went and got the MP3s. This album, I'm really glad that this album is good because the last couple haven't been as good as I was hoping. I really love this band a lot too. That singer is a real talent. A little bit more country rock, Americana flavored, mixed with a little replacements and mixed with a little hard drinking Hank Williams Sr. I like this a lot. This song is called One Last Fuck You. One Last Fuck You.
bourbon. Well, I'm not sure if it's working. Either way, it's time I move on. I ain't gonna be here very long. One last fuck you, that's it, and I'm gone. Don't ask me twice, I am being nice. I think I've made it clear all along, all along. One last fuck you, that's it, and I'm gone. Yes, I've got time to spend, but I don't want to spend it here. I always did enjoy drinking alone. So let me finish this drink without telling me what you think. We go our separate ways, I say so long. I ain't gonna be here very long. One last fuck you, that's it, and I'm gone. I ain't gonna be here very long. One last fuck you, that's it, and I'm gone.
There you go. Lucero, One Last Fuck You. Great tune. The whole album is pretty decent. Maybe there might be one song that's like a half or that I would maybe skip over, but since I got it yesterday, I've listened to it once completely through, and every song is not a bad song so far. We'll probably be in the top 10. We'll see what happens at the end of the year, but I'm glad Lucero is back with a rock and roll album. They did one that was like an electronic album, and they did, yeah, that's the most recent one that I've heard, and it wasn't that great. That's why I don't think I played anything on it, but I'm glad that this album is good. I love that band. Love them, love them, love them. I saw them at Hardly Strictly Bluegrass, and they were really good. Everybody in the crowd drinks Pabst Blue Ribbon, which is a little hipsterish, but all the people that go see them look like they're all aging punk rockers, and I guess I kind of fit into that crowd. So except I don't drink Pabst Blue Ribbon. All right. Before we get into, I don't really have much to talk about today other than Chris Capel and Joe Pawlak. We'll see what comes to mind from their audio comment. But before we get into their comment, let's thank some people who donated to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. Let me find something to play in the background here. New album from Uriah Heep, which I had been threatening to do a track by track of. Let's play that in the background. Friend of the show, Richard Fusey, and friend of mine, Richard Fusey, gave me a score on this album, which maybe I'll do a bonus episode at some point of a track by track. But in the meantime, I'm going to play this in the background. The album is called Chaos in Color. Mick Bock's the only guy left in Uriah Heep. I saw Uriah Heep in the 70s, probably when was Uriah Heep live? 77? I saw them at the Jacksonville Coliseum, and the Skyhooks from Australia. They did their only U.S. tour ever, and they opened up for Uriah Heep. They were on tour with Uriah Heep. Skyhooks were way better than Uriah Heep, but I did enjoy Uriah Heep. The song, come on, Stealing when I should have been buying. It's a great tune. So, and I saw Uriah Heep open for, they might have been on that Judas Priest, Saxon, Uriah Heep. No, they weren't. No, it wasn't. That was Black Star Riders. Maybe Judas Priest came back again and Uriah Heep opened. I saw them at the Warfield. They were good, but again, Mick Bock's the only original member. Live forever, Mick Box. Or here's a little Uriah Heep chaos and color in the background here. All right, thank you to everybody who donated to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. As you know, it's a value for value. So if you get any value out of this podcast, please contribute whatever you think it's worth, friends. I'm hoping that I can retire, or I'm planning on retiring when I turn 62, which is this year, and I'm going to just be working, hopefully just taking jobs up here and living up here and collecting Social Security, what the government owes me, and living off your donations, friends, which means that I'll probably be doing maybe 2 shows a week once I retire. Unless the donations completely drop off, and then I'll do, I don't know, the show may die a horrible, putrid, stench-filled death. We will see. But I'm looking forward to just being up here, living in the woods. All right. There are several ways you can donate to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. One of them is patreon.com/RNRGeek. People, again, sorry for making the donation segment long. All right, the drinking word is I'm sorry this episode, okay? So have a drink every time you hear me say I'm sorry. You know, you could just not donate. I could take advertising, and then I'll have advertisers telling me that I can't say the F word on the show, or I can't say, I can't make misogynist humor or anything like that. So I could take advertising like I had when I used to do those Earthlink ads and Adam and Eve. But I'd rather not take ads. I'd rather just survive off value for value donations. So the people who thought this show had any value, maybe they still do because they're still donating. Joe Pawlak, my bodyguard, $16.16. Dan Gerawan, $15. Tim Schall, $15. Kirk Crawford, $12.77. Fred and Ginny Bunke, $10. Joseph Coyne, $10. Michael Street, friend of mine and friend of the show, $7.50. Dave Slusher, Ship Jumpers, $5.55. Brad Schultz, $5. Brad Shick, $5. Brian Springer, $5. My good friend Chiaki Hinohara of the Metalhead, of the Japanese Metalhead and Metal Moment podcast, $5. Danny Borden, $5 Shitty Dude donation. Erik Klein, $5. Grand Farquhar, $5. Hava FX, $5. James Shapiro, $5. Jamie Jefford, $5. John Scott, writer of the great Tom Petty and Me book, $5. I might have him back on. He contacted me and was interested in coming back on, so I might have him back on. He's got a lot more rock stories, he says. Justin Lefkowitz, $5. Martin Clawley, $5. Mike Brown, my oldest friend, who I went to see Uriah Heep and Skyhooks with at the Jacksonville Coliseum, $5. Nadi Itani, $5. Paul Smith, $5. All right, what else we got here? Next song, Silver Sunlight. Silver Sunlight. Sounds like the last song. Nadi Itani, $5. Paul Smith, $5. Robert Harvey, $5. Steve T. Steve Trice, $5. Ted Wilbrecht, $5. Mike Hellier, £4. Chad Burns, $2.50. Paul Rube, $2.25. Adrian Boschrock on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group, which I did not create, but I do approve people just got to answer 2 questions so that I know you're not one of those evil people that's trying to go to East Palestine and take credit for it. Okay, whatever. Where am I? Okay. Adrian Bosch on $2. Amy Bowen, $2. Bruce McMillan, $2. Eric Stoll, $2. Patrick Shanahan, $2. Paul Underwood, maker of Underwood Fine Barbecue Sauce. I need a new bottle up, Paul. $2. Eric, the Rock and Roll Plebe, $142. 3 Legs, 4 Wheels, Arnie Stash, Corey Kohler, John Richardson, and Mark Mazet, all $1 on patreon.com/RNRGeek. PayPal donors this month. Kirk Crawford saved the show again, $50. Steve Morris, a $28.26 Greatness of Ian Hunter donation. Dave Frank, see, he got some value out of that episode. He's not usually a donor, but he got such value, he donated $28.26. Thank you, Steve Morris. I'll take a sip of this fine Tecate to you, friend. All right, what else we got? I'm not loving this Uriah Heep so far. Hail the Sunrise. We had Silver Sunlight and Hail the Sunrise. Thank you, Dave Franco, $20. Steve, let me see if I get it right. Steve LaPerriere, $20. I think I got it now, Steve. Douglas Free, $20. Richard Strom, $20. Greg Brofer, $20. Still praying, Greg. Speaking of still praying, Richard Fusey, $15.55. Tim Smith, the Rock and Roll Runner, got some value out of the Ian Hunter episode, sent $11. Thank you, Tim Smith, Rock and Roll Runner. Jeff and Sherry, pardon me, I'm burping those fine Tecate. Jeff and Sherry, Thilalicky, $10. James Venners, $10. BJ Lisco, $10. Friend of mine and friend of the show, Ralph Miller, who's basking in the sunlight of Fiji right now, $10. Boy, it must be nice. Jason Shepard, $10. Todd Cunningham, friend of mine and friend of the show, $10. Blake Johnson, $10. Dave Jackson in the School of Podcasting, $10. Richard Fusey with another $9.99 donation. Thank you, Richard Fusey. John Tennis, $5. Nicholas Sandmo, $5. Greg Long, $5. Dale Roller, $5. Andrew Howe, $5. Brett Garsky, $5. Christopher Del Grande, $5. Jace Lasnewski, $5. Peter Sparks, $5. Robert Scott, $5. John Offenlock, $5. Jennifer Wilbrecht, $5. Benjamin Muller, $5. Stephen Matt, I think Jennifer Wilbrecht might be related to Justin, no, to, who's the Wilbrecht who donates? Come on, who's the Wilbrecht who donates? Let me look back here. Ted Wilbrecht, might be related to Ted Wilbrecht. I'm going to guess maybe she's his daughter, or mom, or wife. I lost my place. Oh, Jennifer Wilbrecht, thank you, $5. Benjamin Muller, $5. Stephen Mascord, $2. Chad Kiffmeyer, $2. Lassie Satvedhagen, $2. Dave Alexander, $2. Adam Gerstein, $2. Adam Brichet, $2. Deborah Dreyfus, $2. Vincent Creamy, $2. Kai Matsuda, $2. Brian Gradage, $2. Philip Vermeulen, $2. William Moffat, $2. And finally, Richard Fusey with a value for value donation, 2 cents. Thank you, Richard. All right. Thank you to everybody who donates to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. As you know, without your donations, this show will die a horrible, putrid, stench-filled death. Please keep them coming, friends. They can't all be winners. And if you think they all suck, you don't have to donate a penny. You don't have to donate anything anyway. But if you like the show and it's worth anything to you, help me out, friends. All right, I'll let this song roll out. All hail the sunrise.
Praise the solstice. All is reborn. Hail the sunrise. Shine the dawn. Praise the solstice. All is reborn.
All right, there you go. That song wasn't bad. Uriah Heep. Chaos and Color. Maybe I'll do a bonus episode, Richard Fusey. We'll see, friend. I'm up here all next week as I'm burping up this fine Tecate. So I got a little time. I'm supposed to interview this woman named Erin Riley who has a book out called A Dark Force, and she worked in radio, and the book is not really about the music business, but she worked in radio, and she's friends with a lot of rock stars. So maybe she says she has some good rock and roll stories. So I'm supposed to talk to her next week. I'm reading her book right now, A Dark Force. It's her life story, and I'm enjoying it so far. All right. Here is the long-awaited. They've sent me this 2 episodes ago, and it didn't come until the day after I finished the 1 episode, and then the next one was the greatness of Ian Hunter. So I'm finally getting to this. I apologize for the. There you go. Have a drink. I'm sorry for the long delay, Joe Pawlak and Chris Capel, if you happen to be listening. But here is their show review.
All right, hit it, Cece.
Michael Butler, we got a double shot for you today.
I think Chris might be drinking.
Chris Capel, rock and roll copywriter I'm in South Norwalk, Connecticut, and
this would be your bodyguard, Joe Pawlak.
Hey, Joe. Hey,
Germantown, Wisconsin. How the hell are you doing, Michael?
Super great. Could not be better up here in the mountains, drinking at 12:46 in the daytime. And I'm glad to hear from you, Joe Pawlak and Chris Capel.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to hear that.
Glad to hear it.
Yes.
Yay.
Oh, before we get this going,
Yeah,
Chris, we need a toast, right?
Yeah, we need a sip of our fine.
Oh, good. I'll join you.
Tell me what you got going.
I have let me open it here. This would be a Three Floyds Zombie Dust, my favorite beer of all time. And Chris, yourself?
Three Floyds Zombie Dust. I'm going to have to look that one up.
I am drinking a Trailblazer New England style IPA, Connecticut Valley Brewing Company.
Right.
And for our friend Chiaki, we got to say 8% alcohol by volume. Connecticut Valley Brewing Company, South Windsor, Connecticut. And you know about Windsor, Connecticut, don't you?
I have a facility in South Windsor. So cheers to you, Michael.
Cheers.
Here we go.
Let me take a sip of my fine Tecate. 4.5% alcohol by volume, I think. Let me take another one.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is a first.
Joe Pawlak, one of your facilities. What does he do for a living, I wonder? Is he in the gangster business? I don't think so. I think it's probably legit. But he's got a facility up there in Connecticut.
A call in by 2 folks doing a show review at the same time.
Right.
Although I did think I did one after Iron Maiden with 3 people. 4 people.
Yes, that was a good one.
Right, but we went to 2 different shows.
Ah, that's true. That's very true. That's very true. So
I'm sure it's all the same.
yeah, show review is the same. I think the set lists are the same. So no one likes a 38-minute show review. So I thought in the effort of time,
We'll just do a 27-minute show review.
we would start it off. So for you, Exodus opened.
Okay, well, no, let's start with you. Tell me, you
By
went
the
first.
way, people who don't like 30-minute show reviews, I'm sorry, friends. Have a drink. All right.
So what was your venue? How many people were there?
So this
And
was
start with that.
Yeah. So I went to see him a week ago last Friday at the Sylvie, a newer event space in
I think they're doing theater-sized venues this time, right?
Madison, Wisconsin. So
It's a good bill. I mean, I guess it's a strong bill. I don't know how good it is. I'm not a Black Label Society fan. I saw them at the Regency Theater and they were boring as hell. I might have walked out.
about an hour and a half drive for me from home. And that was on, I believe it was on the 30th. Hell, I don't know when it was. But anyway, yeah, and I would say it was close to capacity. I don't know what that place holds. I know some of the shows have been sold out on this Exodus
I think they're doing like 1,500 seats.
Label Society Anthrax tour, but it was pretty packed. And you?
Okay. I went to the Mohegan Sun Arena. I saw Bon Jovi there many, many years ago. There's 2 casinos in Connecticut, the far end. That's like Greg Brofer territory. He lives out that way.
Shout
I
out to
live
Greg
on
Brofer.
the western end of Connecticut. I border New York State. So I'm out that end. So it's, again, about an hour and a half I have a friend who lives in Brantford.
I think when I was in Exodus, sorry to interrupt you, Chris Capel, have a drink. I think Chris Capel came to the show. I played in Connecticut when I was in Exodus. And I don't remember where we played. I think it was a smaller place.
Halfway, so I meet him. And I would say this is an arena, has a WNBA team. I would say probably at a concert. It's not huge. 6,500, 7,000, and it was damn packed.
Wow.
Okay, so mine was general admission, and I would say, I don't know, 1,000?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because
That
they
sounds
played,
about right.
they played the Fox Theater in San Francisco or in Oakland, and that I think that's like a 1,200, 1,500 maybe.
Might have been bigger than that.
We had a GA floor, but, seating all around.
But yeah, so I went solo, and as a post
Somebody's chair is squeaking. It's not mine.
on the Facebook page said, I've really been able to get into solo. And I have one thing I want to talk about that, which makes it fantastic, is that I have a method down. Being a gentleman in my 50s, you don't want to have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the act that you came there to see.
Yeah.
So
You've all heard the Joan Jett story.
I 2 beers during the opening act.
Yes.
I had 1 beer during Black Label Society. In the middle of Black Label, I hit the John and came back for their last 2 songs. And then when all those people leave, I go right up probably, I don't know, 6.
On the general admission. That's a good strategy.
7 people in from the stage. So it was perfect.
Yes.
And your seats?
Oh, we were GA.
GA.
I mean, I'm also in your age range, and I'm not one to these days go on the mosh pit. My daughter always thinks the mosh pit's the funniest thing, but no, I'm not. I wasn't into that when I was younger. I just went with a
Joe
friend.
Pawlak, you didn't get in the mosh pit, did you, Joe Pawlak?
Mine,
he's a big dude though.
pretty chill, so he doesn't. He's not into that. So, this was, an arena. It was, kind of a sizable, not a huge. It wasn't Madison Square Garden, but
Yeah.
Like I said, probably 7,000, 6,500 people were there.
Nice.
And
I might
it
be
was
underselling.
full.
Yeah. Maybe I'll Google that real quick. But why don't you start off with Exodus?
Okay, I have seen Exodus twice.
I don't know any of these
I
tunes.
saw them last year on the Bay Strikes Back tour. I just never seen them before.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to go through this set list, or do you just say, I will post this on the Rock and Roll Geek show Facebook page, which I did not create, Michael Butler did not create, but he does approve users to make sure
Hit it,
they're not
Cece.
Flying a
painters
Chinese.
in San Francisco who befriend an old man at the dog park and then take his house when he passes away.
Oh, ouch.
I was going to say to make sure
Ouch.
they're not flying a Chinese,
Ouch.
weather balloon. But yeah, okay.
Feather balloon, all right. Same difference.
By the way, yes, I did get Don's house, but Don had no family, and I was wiping Don's ass. Remember that I did the fecal phobia episode? That was a long time ago. I put in a lot of years with Don, and Don was family to me, and he had no other family, no relatives. He could have left me the house, or he could have just left it to the state. And I think he'd rather leave it to me. And I'm doing right by Don with that house. But I do thank God for Don every night.
We could post them, but it's kind of.
By the way, if I'm befriending somebody to get their house, being somebody's friend for 25 years, that's a pretty long game or long con.
Anybody can see what it is, and so let me ask you this: did you see the beginning of the Exodus show? And maybe it wasn't there, where the 2 sides line up for the mosh pit.
Yeah, Exodus did not. They did not originate that. It's what happens. They spread apart and then they all slam together. I've seen that at least 2 shows, and it wasn't Exodus.
So basically, there's a line of old guys on one side and a line of old guys on the other side with about 20 feet in between them. And then as I think the intro was We Will Rock You by Queen, And they started
Correct.
with the beatings will continue. And as soon as the first
Yes.
lick, Holt plays the first lick, they go flying and running into each other to start the mosh pit. Did you see that?
They did mention it. I was, like I said, not in GA. I wasn't in the mosh pit, but they did mention about the two sides. So now you're telling me something. You're filling in the pieces. Oops. You're filling in the pieces of the story I didn't know. So yeah, that makes sense.
So that happened right in front of me.
What they told me.
Yeah, that happened right in front of
nice.
me.
Oh, they
And it
didn't
was
slam
like,
in front
oh
of
my
you, slam
God.
into you.
And I probably have the girth and ability to be in something like that, but I would hope that age would have taught me probably a bad idea.
Right.
So anyway, I don't know. I thought I had not seen Exodus. I wasn't able to go to the Bay Strikes Back. I've seen whatever, Death Angel, Testament, everybody else, but I hadn't seen them. And I thought they played well. The crowd was into it.
By the way, sorry to interrupt. Have a drink. I posted on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group. I found somebody sent me this, and I don't remember who did, but I found a really good quality video of Exodus when I was in the band performing at Ricky Rockman's birthday party at a place called the Palace in Hollywood. It's a good video. The sound quality not great, but you can see the band, and I just posted that on the Facebook group, on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group, and it's pretty good. It's like at 35 minutes.
Bonded by Blood is probably my, the album of theirs that I like. What pissed me off was I came in there with a big poster board that said, Force of Habit was the best Exodus
album. I love it.
And they damn near wanted to throw me out. And on the back of it, I said, Michael Butler was the greatest bass player Exodus ever had.
Yes.
And I don't know if Gary saw it or not, but I did what I could to try to get up there and show that.
Joe
It didn't quite work.
It didn't say stick it to the man either.
I appreciate the effort, Joe Paul.
No, that was on my second one, but they, it kind of fell in the snow on the walk over from the parking garage. So,
the snow, yes. Well, they were old school. I'm looking at the set list, which I'm sure is the same, 9 songs. Mm-hmm. And they tell you, if you look at the bottom of setlist.com, 4 were Bonded by Blood, 2 are from the new album. Fabulous Disaster had 1, Tempo the Dam had 1, and Blood In, Blood Out had 1.
Not a single song from Force of Habit.
So I thought they were good. I mean, I think they're a good band. I think Testament's a better band. I think Testament's a better band than Anthrax. So, but that's just me. I think, I don't know, they're good, but they're not the best thrash band there is.
I would agree. I did think it was cool. He did a little guitar intro before they went into the Toxic Waltz from Raining Blood, which is most people know that he's replaced Jeff Hanneman in Slayer for that last tour. Or it might have been
I've seen him a couple times with Slayer. Yeah, it was like was it Raining Blood or was it South of Heaven? One of those, but whatever. He did do that.
So that was good.
And
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have most of the Exodus albums. I do not have the new one, and there might be the one before that.
Yeah, Force of Habit.
But I have all the others, and of course, Force of Habit.
Oh, good.
Which
Thank you.
Is
piece of shit.
That's the White Album of Exodus. That is,
Hey man,
there's Sgt. Pepper.
I'm telling you, that album is underrated. I look on that YouTube video. It was of us playing Ricky Rockman's birthday party, and we played all Force of Habit tunes in that set, and all the comments were Force of Habit, underrated album. So that album's going to go out as maybe it's their White Album, but hey man. All right, let me back it up a little bit here. I think the album's going to go down as an underappreciated album, and when it's all said and done, it will not be their worst album.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have most of the Exodus albums. I do not have the new one, and there might be the one before that I don't have.
As a matter of fact, I think the new one has a little bit of Force of Habit sounds on it.
Is that's the White Album of Exodus. That is, That's their Sgt. Pepper. You know, John Entwistle could learn something from listening to that album.
Yes.
Without a doubt. So,
Without a doubt.
All right.
You know,
so I would say
Next,
Exodus.
Black
Black Label Society. Go ahead. And I had just seen.
Oh,
these,
no,
I had seen these guys last August. Actually, Jason Gherkin, another fellow listener, friend of the show,
See that?
met up in Oshkosh.
See
back
that?
in
Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group, bringing people together. It's a whole group of friends. Everybody on that Facebook group is cool.
August of last year. Hatebreed was the opener instead of Exodus, and then it was Black Label and Anthrax. So my report or review or whatever hasn't changed. So I'll let you kind of take a hold of this one.
okay. Oh, one thing about Exodus. I'm down here actually. I'm in South Norwalk. There's a dog here. I'm dog sitting.
Oh,
I'm
good.
not in my home, and he's squeaking a toy, but he's a good boy.
Oh, it's not a chair. It's a dog toy.
Zetro, a great vocalist. I wouldn't call him the most dynamic frontman ever. He doesn't do a lot of moving around. Excellent singer, though.
Yep.
I did want to mention that.
Agree.
Okay.
Now, on to Black Label Society. I will be 100% honest. I have seen Zakk Wylde play with Ozzy. I have never heard or listened to Black Label Society before this.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you one song they do.
No.
He is a stellar guitarist.
They're boring. They're fucking
He
boring.
is a vocalist. I wouldn't call him, all their criticism was, I heard from other people, that all their songs sound the same.
They're
And
boring.
kind of vocally they do.
Yep.
And he didn't say anything 2/3 of the way through the show. Not a word.
Boring.
It wasn't until he got on the piano and played some Pantera thing, tribute, that he actually said something. But I couldn't tell you. I mean, he wasn't bad, but vocally, you would think they would get a better vocalist, someone a little more dynamic in there, someone who could actually sing a little better. Because it's kind of like how, like Kurt Cobain, all his vocals sound the same. He doesn't sound like Kurt Cobain, but I just found it didn't.
They're
There
boring.
wasn't that great vocalist there. And you don't have to be a great vocalist to make it rock, but your opinion, please.
Yeah, no, I would say the same. I'm not that familiar. I know Suicide Messiah and I know Stillborn.
You know two more than me.
Probably their most popular song.
Yeah.
And they close with those two.
Correct.
I thought
that one guitar solo they did when they're playing behind their heads.
Joe Pawlak can't get a word in.
And that was like stellar.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, they sounded good. They were having fun. It was fine. It's not. I would never go to see them headline.
Boring.
But yeah, and I guess the side note is, anyone who knows, that dude has the biggest freaking arms. I mean, he was like Man of War up
lifts
there,
weights.
man. I mean, seriously, holy shit.
Do you want? Remember when he was in Ozzy's band? When he looked more like he was smaller. He wasn't a big muscle bound guy. Do you want your rock stars to be muscle bound?
I think this review is going to end up being 38 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey, we're weeding out the non-friends of the show.
He also has a reputation for not showering.
Oh, he does? He really?
I've heard,
Zakk Wylde.
I did not hear that.
I've heard that.
And the guy next to me also smelled like Zakk Wylde. Too.
Oh, nice.
So
you've all heard the story when he was playing with Ozzy. They were all having dinner, and he stuck a wine. They were having wine, and he stuck a wine cork up his butt, and he handed it to the waiter and goes, "Can you smell this wine cork? I think there's something wrong with the wine. It smells a little. It doesn't taste quite right." And the guy smells it, and they all have a laugh.
He was next to a guy, and he was the kind of guy, hit me, elbowing me every song. He's like, "Oh, I love this." It's like one of those.
Hey, look at
and then
this
the
one.
people
I like
to the
this
left
one.
of us left, and we're like, just slid on over.
Thankfully, I don't have much of a problem. People, I wore the Slayer shirt, so that people usually leave you alone when you're wearing a Slayer shirt.
Yeah, and when you're big, too.
Well, yes,
You're a little bit bigger than
I'm
Chris Capel.
tall, but you're taller. How tall are you?
I don't know, 6'4",
There you go.
260.
There
Yeah,
you
see,
go.
I'm 6'2".
Yeah. Any motherfuckers want to fuck with Butler? You got to go through Joe Pawlak first. 6'4", 260.
I have a picture of us together, so I won't post that on the Rock and Roll Facebook page, which Michael Butler did not create, yada, yada, yada.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so Anthrax. Tell me what you think of Anthrax.
So, full disclosure.
He loves Anthrax, my guess.
Of the big four,
Oh, I love it.
big four, they're my number one. Like, I love
knew it.
Anthrax.
I knew
I don't know what it was as a
Really?
kid. Well, they had the album. I was a big Stephen King, I read all the Stephen King stuff. And when I saw Among the
Really?
Living, yes. And then I read the lyrics. I was like, holy shit, this is really cool. And so now I wasn't big into their, I Am the Man stuff and whatever, but I appreciated that. And dollar for dollar, pound for pound, for their age and everything else.
They have the most catchy tunes of all the big four. Megadeth's got some pretty catchy tunes.
Dude, they put on a hell of a show. I mean, they're out. They sound great. They're running around. Joey Belladonna's voice, I don't think has lost anything through the years. And the first, 5 of the first 6 songs, to me, I could listen to all day. Among the Living, Caught in a Mosh, Madhouse, Metal Thrashing Mad, Antisocial, I Am the Law. Well, that's 6 out of 7. I mean, I love those. To me, that's kind of the soundtrack of, the mid to late 80s for me. So I'm biased.
All right.
Yes.
All right, that's cool. They're the East Coast
Yes.
thrash band,
They are.
out of New York.
All right, here's what we're going to do. In the interest of people complaining that my show reviews are too long, we're going to do an intermission. We're going to interrupt this show review. Thank you, Joe Pawlak and Chris Capel. We're going to interrupt this show review with a song. All right? Should we play an Anthrax? I got a playlist here. I'm going to play something different. This was sent to me by Greg Brofer. Now, I don't know what to think of this guy, Tommy London. He sent me this song, and the song is fucking catchy as hell. And I went and looked for the rest of the album. I went on Amazon Music, or did I get Amazon? I think I went on Amazon Music or Apple Music. I'm not sure. But I found his whole album, and every song is fucking catchy as hell. So I started looking this guy Tommy London up. This guy looks like kind of looks like Sylvester Stallone's brother. What's that guy's name? Frank Stallone. He's like a New York City Italian greaser Guido dude. I don't know what to think of the guy. I know, I guarantee you the people in New York don't think this guy's cool, but there's no denying a catchy tunes. I'm going to interrupt this Anthrax show review. We'll be right back, Chris Capel and Joe Pawlak. This is a song called Make You Love Me by Tommy London. Whole album, catchy. At least every song I listened to. I didn't make it through the whole album. But the song is kind of like power pop, super catchy rock tunes. This is Make You Love Me by Tommy London. If you know anything about this guy, tell me I'm an idiot and that this guy's a dork or whatever. But there's no denying a good song. Here's Make You Love Me, Tommy London.
Where you and I can just
There you go, Tommy London. Let me know what you know about this guy. He's one of the DJs on Sirius XM radio, I think, too. Again, there's a catchy song is a catchy song, so I'll give credit where it's due. That song is catchy. All right, back from this intermission. First show review ever with an intermission. I like this. So see, maybe we'll keep the vein. Go ahead, friends. Send me your 30-minute show reviews. I want to hear them. I'll play an intermission. I like them long. All right, back to you, Joe Pawlak, my bodyguard, and Chris Capel, the rock and roll copywriter.
5 of the first 6 songs, to me, I could listen to all day. Among the Living, Caught in a Mosh, Madhouse, Metal Thrashing Mad, Antisocial, I Am the Law. Well, that's 6 out of 7. I mean, I love those. To me, that's kind of the soundtrack of, the mid to late 80s for me. So I'm biased.
All right.
Yes.
All right, that's cool. They're the East Coast
Yes.
thrash band,
They are.
out of New York.
And I like Scotty. I read both his books. I read Frank Bellows' book. I don't know. I'm just kind of into their thing. I loved Worship Music. I thought that was a fantastic album, 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, your thoughts as maybe less of a fan.
Well, I think of the Big Four.
He likes Metallica.
And full disclosure, the Big Four played Yankee Stadium, and I saw every minute of the show. They're my least favorite. I've never seen them as a headliner. I've seen them probably 8 times, and they've always opened for Motorhead, opened for Slayer.
Yep.
Were a part of a package. This is the first time I ever saw them as a headliner. But no, they were good, and they used to annoy me. Scotty Ian, I don't know. If you read his book, he's obviously got an axe to grind.
Well, they all have that New York. Do you live East Coast? New York people that have that whatever that is, and especially if you're not a big guy, if you're a little New Yorker guy, you build up a tough skin and an FU attitude. I mean,
That's true.
yeah.
But remember, I live in the suburbs, so we were always.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Shielded from that. No, I remember being a kid and seeing, when I was younger, I used to see, they talked about the Plasmatics, they're from New York, and they were old, or Twisted Sister, they're old and scary,
Yeah.
But, no, these guys.
Yeah, Anthrax didn't come off as being a scary band, but it's all right. They seem to have the most sense of humor.
I mean, I think they haven't been all that consistent after their, initial bunch of albums. But no, I thought they were solid, and a lot of swearing.
How you fucking doing, motherfuckers?
I'll just read this through quickly.
Yeah.
Among the Living, Caught in a Mosh, Madhouse, Metal, Thrashing Mad, Keep It in the Family.
Keep It in the Family.
The Law, in the end, Only, Got the Time, Bring the Noise, Indie.
I got the time ticking in my head.
I have a question.
Joe Jackson tune.
That
They
the-
did good covers.
For you.
Yes.
Which I want to ask about that. But tell me what, you love them. I like them.
They don't play long enough. Seriously, you could put 3 more songs. Play 3 more songs.
No,
And
you
I
could, but
saw
I
them
realized.
in June of last year, August of last year, and then the end of January. And, it was mostly the same. And I think, some of the things in their catalog.
Heaven and Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. They kind of have a boring set list. I mean, predictable, I guess is the word.
Predictable. Without a doubt, predictable. But, it's the 40th anniversary. They're playing the hits, whatever.
Did they play
I'm okay.
Cry for the Indians?
Yeah, it's a hit. Black Label played as long as they did.
They did.
I think it's
It's
a
almost
co-headliner.
It's a
Look at
double
the-
headliner.
It really was, because when we drove in, and the place I did was, like I said, is one of the Indian casinos. And here's the question. Here's the big question I was dying to know. And I didn't look on YouTube. I wanted to ask you. The last song they played was Indians.
Yes.
Oh, they did play it. Okay.
Did Joey Belladonna put on the Indian headdress
I bet you they don't do that anymore because cultural appropriation, right?
like he normally does?
I don't think so. I don't remember it.
They're scared of getting canceled. Nobody, because it doesn't take much to get canceled nowadays, especially if you got advertisers, which is another reason I don't want to have appetizers. But appetizers, okay.
Did he with you guys?
Okay. Well, we were wondering because this was an Indian casino.
Ah, no way.
And I was thinking,
yeah, no, not a good idea.
maybe he doesn't want to offend anybody. I'm going to look on YouTube and look at.
He doesn't want to offend anybody anyway, but he especially doesn't want to offend people who own an Indian casino because you don't want to get involved with the Indian mafia, that's for sure.
Type in Anthrax Indians live.
The last 3 times I've seen him, I don't believe he did that.
Right. Okay. They might not do it anymore.
Yeah, they don't
that's
do
what
it
I'm
anymore.
thinking. And he's again, he's got Native American ancestry,
Who
so I
cares?
mean that's kind of his thing, right? So
You know, you're going to get in trouble for wearing an Indian headdress. Give me a break, man. Come on. People need to really fucking lighten up. See, now I can say that because I don't have appetizers.
Yes. Okay. I
I
have
don't have appetizers.
German ancestry, and that doesn't. I don't know what that makes me.
he's Italian American on his father's side and Native American on his
There you
mother's side.
go. Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay. Actually, that's what I was going to say. He does sometimes in New York, he does like solo stuff, and he does like a Journey set sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, he sings that stuff.
I think wasn't he in like a Journey tribute band before he was in, well, not a tribute band, but a cover band playing a bunch of Journey tunes before he was in Anthrax?
Well, on the Anthems cover album they had, he does a Journey song. He does Cheap Trick. They do Rush. And again, in my ears, which I love his voice, so I don't think he could do any wrong by me. But all right, we're 21 minutes in, brother.
Brother.
All right.
Let's
so
wrap
what
this
else you got?
motherfucker up.
Two small things. The venue that I went to is a 2,500 seat capacity.
Okay, there you go.
So I would say it might not have been sold out, but it was
That might be
packed.
what the Fox
And then in
Theater is.
front of me, in between shows, and one other nice thing about going by yourself is you meet people, right? You know, people who are into it like you are.
I like going to shows by myself too. I said that on the Facebook group, and Ralph Miller, friend of the show, a friend of mine, got kind of pissed off when I said that. I prefer going with my friends, but I don't mind going to shows by myself. It's kind of nice sometimes. You can, especially if it's a band you really, really love, you can just like, you know, get into them because you don't have to talk to anybody.
And there was a younger kid, probably in his mid-20s, and I was like, hey, what's going on? You know, what brings you here, who you here with, whatever.
Joe Pawlak, that's very sociable of you. I would never do that.
And he's like, oh, big
I
Anthrax
admire that.
fan and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I was supposed to come here with my dad, but he couldn't make it. He had to work, so I brought my cool aunt.
Oh.
I'm like,
You
cool
could hit on his aunt if you weren't married.
aunt. Where is she? And then
what's
she
she
walks
look like?
up,
Baby.
Let's have a look at this cool aunt.
and she's this
Super.
little, I don't know, 5'2", maybe, 5th grade teacher
Nice.
at a local school district. And I told her, I said, look, I've been to a bunch of these. I said, this
If you need anybody to protect you from this mosh pit, I got you, baby.
mosh pit is going to be behind us. Okay. And I'm
Just
the
hold on to me for dear life. Preferably down here between the. All right.
biggest guy, and who loves running into the biggest guy? Everybody. So I said, I'll kind of,
There you go.
you know, form a bit of a wall
There
here
you
for
go.
you.
I love
but
it.
I may bump into you, so please just know that
Yeah.
it's not my doing.
Yeah.
It's
Please know I'm not hitting on you. If I bump into and accidentally grab your boobs, it was these assholes throwing me into you. It wasn't me being a perv.
it's the mob behind me. So she
sure.
laughed and she said thank you after the show for keeping her safe. And you know,
Oh, my hero.
it's bodyguarding is in my blood. What can I say? Chris?
Exactly.
I don't know
You're not a creep. You don't creep out on girls like some people, but you're just a bodyguard.
Hell yeah. I wouldn't consider myself a bodyguard.
Yeah, but you can creep out on girls with the best of them, Chris Capel.
Too skinny for all
Well,
that.
yeah, but you're fast. You could probably just run away. See, I don't have that option. So
By the way, I can creep out on girls better than anybody, so I'm speaking from experience.
running is not an option.
I am not Tim C. Smith, the rock and roll runner.
Yeah.
Yes. So, well, anyway, I thought it was fun. Hopefully we could do this again. I'd love to get out to the East Coast and say hey again, but
Please.
work doesn't take
Are you
me.
wearing an Armored Saint shirt?
I am.
Oh, they're
Yes,
doing
I
a
am.
Zoom. They're
All
zooming it.
right. Gotta love it.
Oh,
Did
we'd
you
like
see
to
the
see the
Wasp
video.
tour?
I did.
Track Fest.
Oh, yeah, I did too in New Jersey.
Yeah. Well, we could have done one on. Oh, wait, did you? I don't think I did. Anyway.
I think I
nobody-
did. Oh, here we go. Mohegan Sun capacity.
Did you do a Wasp show review? I don't think so. I don't remember it. If I didn't play it, Chris Capel, let me know.
This has a 10,000 capacity, but I would imagine that's when, obviously they don't sell to the side of the stage.
Well,
and behind
also that's kind of hometown. That's kind of Anthrax and Black Label Society's stomping grounds.
So yeah, probably 7,500
Yeah.
would be a fair estimate.
Which makes sense because I mean they're that's their stomping grounds so,
Exactly.
from back in the day. So
See, there you go. That proves I don't listen.
Now,
to this.
was there a lot of swearing with all the vocalists, especially in Anthrax?
I
There
want to
was
see you motherfuckers in the pit. Come on, you fuckers. Let's fucking do it.
a lot of swearing.
I'm kind of
Really
immune to
offended me.
swearing.
I was being a wise guy. I'm immune. My parents took me to George Carlin when I was very young, so
You're
I
familiar.
guess I'm pretty immune.
Yeah,
to
I was there on Sling TV. They have a Johnny Carson channel, and George Carlin was a frequent guest on Johnny Carson. I watched a couple of those this past few days.
that stuff.
All right. Well, cool. Well, let's wrap this up. Any final words?
All right, what's your
Copywriter?
next concert? I don't have a next concert. I bought tickets for Metallica, but that's in August, and I'm
Next show is White Reaper, thanks
Oh,
to the fine people of the Rock and Roll Geek
Yeah.
Show Facebook.
Kirk Crawford went. I was planning on going in San Francisco. It was just past Wednesday on the 22nd or somewhere around. If I was in San Francisco, I would have went. And I weighed the options. Said, do I want to wait around for the White Reaper show and then go to the mountains, or do I want to head to the mountains? And I didn't wait. I kind of almost wish I would have waited, but I didn't.
Age. So
Rich Michael Butler did not create, yada, yada.
exactly. But it's in Madison again, so I'm going to go back over there to see it. There's a couple of other ones. I don't know. I have tentative. That Kings of Thrash. Have you heard that? That's where David Ellison.
They're playing, correct. They're playing in two
Zetro's son is in that band.
places. They're playing
Or no, he's not in that band. Zetro's son is in one of the opening bands. They're called Hatriot.
the Chance in Poughkeepsie, New York,
Yeah.
which is about 45 minutes from here. And they're playing in Manhattan, which is, if there's no other cars on the road, is also 45 minutes from here. But the Chance, they always put on about 18 local bands ahead of time, and the headliners go on at 3 a.m, one of those kind of places.
Yeah.
So I would be, if I do go to that, I may be more tempted to go to the one in Manhattan, even though parking will be more expensive. I will get out of there at 11 o'clock at night and not 2:30 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah. No, mine's in Madison again, but it's on a Sunday night, and school night and all the rest of it. So I don't know. We'll see. So
School night, yes. And what about your kids are in college, aren't they?
they are.
All right. So there's, you got that going.
Well,
for you.
I do have a day job, so I can't just, go to people's houses and look at their dogs and make a living like you can. Chris.
Well, actually, today was actually a good day. I didn't have
Alrighty.
to leave the house to work, and it's not even my house.
We're listening in on the end of the phone call here.
down in South Norwalk. This guy goes to
Fascinated.
Costa Rica. He goes to a yoga resort, and I take care of his dog for him.
What guy goes to a yoga resort? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Gay.
So,
Well,
There are worse ways to make a living.
I agree. So, Michael, I did my best to keep this short, and
Thank
it was
you, friend.
not.
Thank you,
So,
friend. I
our
appreciate
It didn't happen.
our loquacious friend, Mr. Capel, kept it going.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I think I hold the record for the longest rock and roll
This
Geek
might be the
show,
longest
but
one.
So, hopefully, it was entertaining. It was a good show. They're still out on tour. Go see them. It's fun. It's always good.
Exactly.
Live
yeah,
music.
go see them.
Live music. All good. Well, signing off
right.
for me from Germantown,
All right,
Wisconsin.
Mr. Pawlak, thank you.
All
I
right.
appreciate it, and stay frosty, my friend.
Stay frosty.
Stay frosty. You too can leave a long show review. I'll put an intermission in it. Not area code. Just record, do a Zoom call with your buddy. And then email it to me, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. All right, well, there you go. We're an hour and 3 minutes into this. I can probably wrap it up. Did you get any value? If you didn't, you don't have to donate, friends. I'm up here in the mountains. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my time. Ginger had a crowdfunded album. He's doing a solo album, and I donated to this thing last year. I remember being on the tree stand. Shit, it might have been the year before last. He said he's doing a solo album, and if you donated, he had all these different levels to donate, and you got you got different gifts. I gave the highest donation of like $100 and something, and you're supposed to get a T-shirt and a vinyl and all this shit. And after that thing happened with him and some girl tried to Me Too him. He kind of disappeared, and I thought, oh, well, I guess he's not doing this crowdfunding thing anymore. And I said, well, fuck, I guess I got ripped off. I don't know. And then yesterday, I was downloading the Lucero album. Damn, I'm so glad that album's good. And I'm checking my email, and I got an email from Ginger Wildheart saying this crowdfunding thing. Here's my album. Here's 2 albums. So I'm glad that Ginger is back. I never really talked about that thing that happened with him and some girl at a club. I stand with Ginger. That girl, he was drunk and he tried to hit on some girl, and she kissed him, and then he continued to try to hit on her more. And I guess he took a girl kissing him back as a signal that maybe she was into him. And then she goes online and badmouths him, saying that he's a sexual predator and all this shit. And anyway, he almost got Me Too'd and canceled, but he's back. He's got a new solo album, and it is called "It Came from the North." So that's what I'm going to play for you to close out the show, friends. I'm going to try to do it. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I'll try to get in a bonus episode this week. I don't want to make a promise that I can't keep, because I am starting painting that house on Wednesday. We'll see what happens. If not, I'm going to be back in the city in San Francisco probably Saturday night or Sunday, or maybe Sunday. We'll see. I got to bring one of the dogs back with me. I got to leave back early because my dog Stella is in heat. And last time she got in heat, I turned my back and they mated, and we had to give her an abortion. And it was not pretty. So I got to bring Cassie back home, separate him from the females. We got 3 females and 1 male. I got to separate them. So it's going to be me and Cassie at home in San Francisco by ourselves. So I'll have time to do a show probably then. Maybe I'll try to slip one in before that. Slip it in, friends. All right. They can't all be winners, but hey, if the show review is too long, I'll put an intermission in it, friends. Thank you for listening. Thank you to Joe Pawlak and Chris Capel for the long audio comment. I appreciate it, friends. Feel free to send in as long a comment as you want, because I love them. I absolutely love them. I don't care if anybody else doesn't like them. I enjoy the shit out of them. I like hearing your voice. I like hearing everybody's experience going to shows. I just like it. If nobody else does, hey, that's why I don't have advertisers or appetizers, however you pronounce it. Thank you for listening, friends. I have not heard the entire Ginger Wildheart album. He's got one that's called "It Came from the North," and then it comes with a companion album called, let me pull up, what's it called here? I think it's called Babylon Narrative AD. Or no, excuse me, Bebop Narrative AD. This one's called It Came from the North. Thank you for listening, friends. rockandrollgeek.com is where you can find the show. Send me an email, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. Let me know that you thought this episode was great or sucked. However, I don't care. Just email me, friends. I love to hear from you. If I don't respond, it's only because I missed your email, because I try to respond to everybody if I can. Find me on the Facebook, R&R Geek. You can find the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group at somewhere. I don't know. Just go on. If you're on Facebook, search for the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group. Lots of good rock talk there, more than I can even keep up with. Also, find me on the Instagram, Rock and Roll Geek Don't Ask. Find me on the Twitter, R&R Geek. I'll talk to you later, friends. Here is brand new Ginger Wildheart. The song I'm going to play is called Jaw Meets Floor. I'll talk to you soon, friends.
Well, he shut down shop just to pocket the deal. But if karma collects, you can bet that it will. If fortune smiling, opportunity knocks on each genuine skill, keeps the doors unlocked. Oh, there's nibble in he must have skin like tarpaulin and a memory that turns on and off again. With the laws of cause and effect ignored, he'd be down on you quicker than Tracy Lords. Oh, the slithering boy. Oh, the slithering boy. Oh, Joe, me floor. Goes walk through the door. He's been lost since he found that he didn't want to be around. He didn't want to be around. I bet you could do anything that you and that contact said good ideas. You get to claim your position and you can go get Well, I must have met hundreds over the years. I know hustlers and grifters and cheap profiteers as they try to dump the con on a gullible John, which shows you what kind of level they're on. Oh, the sniveling boy. Oh, the slithering boy. Oh, Joe, me floor. Swear goes walk through the door. He's been lost since he found that he didn't want to be around. He didn't want to be around. I guess he could do with me that you and I contact said good ideas. You came to claim your position and you gotta go get fuck.
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.